With North Korea and his summit in the middle of June. Let's talk to White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. She joins us from the North Lawn. Sarah, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Great to be with you guys.
Hey,
Sarah,
what's going on with North Korea?
Look, as the president has said time and time again, we're ready to meet, and if it happens, that's great. And if it doesn't, we'll see what happens. We're still hopeful that the meeting will take place, and we'll continue down that path. But at the same time, we know that we've been prepared that these could be tough negotiations. The president is ready if the meeting takes place, and if it doesn't, we'll continue the maximum pressure campaign that's been ongoing.
How would you characterize the president's reaction to this backstep, making up some problems with military exercises that have been on the books, coming up with comments about John Bolton that's been said back in 2003? What was the president's reaction when some of this stuff started coming out?
Look, the president's the toughest negotiator around. He's prepared to go through this process. His team is prepared to go through this process. And this is not something that is out of the ordinary in these types of operations. And the president's fully prepared and fully ready to carry on in these conversations, both leading up to and if the meeting takes place. He'll be there and he'll be ready.
Yeah, just a reminder of why we need so many people in these important roles within the administration. Gina Haspel is what people are talking about this week. The Senate Intel Committee voting on her today. We know she's made the rounds up on the Hill, sent a personal letter to Mark Warner. It sounds as of now like she's got the vote she needs, Sarah.
It looks great. We're very optimistic. We think, obviously, Gina Haspel is the most qualified and credible person that you could find to run the CIA. We're excited about her taking the helm as the full director of this agency, and things look really good. We expect the committee vote to take place later this morning and that to go extremely well, and then the full floor vote taking place here in the next couple of days. And again, we're very confident and very optimistic that people are putting national security and the safety and security of Americans ahead of partisan politics. Several Democrats have come out and said they'll support Gina Haspel. We think that's a great thing because she's a great candidate to run the CIA, and we're excited about her taking over and moving forward in this process.
We heard from the president doing a tweet a couple of days ago about the leaks in the White House. You know, all goes back to a rough comment that a member of the White House staff made about John McCain. And then there was a leak about that, and then you had a meeting with the team about leaks, and that got leaked, I think, 5 times to Jonathan Swan over at Axios. What is going on at the White House? Because it looks like the president can't even trust his own staff.
Look, I can tell you there are a couple of bad actors. I think it is disgusting and some of the most shameful behavior that you could ever engage in. It's an honor and a privilege to work for the president and to be part of his administration. And anybody who betrays that, I think, is a total and complete coward, and they should be fired. We fired people over leaking before. I've personally fired people over leaking before, and we certainly would be very willing to do so again. But again, this is one of the greatest opportunities of a lifetime to get to work and serve for President Trump, and it's something that is sacred for somebody to allow you to have that opportunity.
It's a great job,
we take it seriously.
Sarah, why do they do it? Are they just trying to stab other staff members in the back? Are they trying to advance their political agenda? Are they trying to set the record straight? What the heck's going on?
Look, I think there are probably a number of reasons. I think sometimes some of these leaks are made up and reporters search for validation for them. But look, there's definitely something that has to be addressed. We're focused intensely on addressing it, and we take it extremely seriously. As I just said, I can't answer why people do it because I don't engage in it, because I find it to be some of the most disgusting behavior that you could ever participate in, and one of the most disloyal things that you could do as an entrusted member of the president's team. Look, we have big things happening here. The president is having conversations and discussions with North Korea. We're talking about Iran. We've moved the embassy. The president is growing the economy, creating jobs. We just got the 21st Circuit Court judge nominated and cleared the Senate yesterday. Amazing and big things are happening, and that's what our administration should be focused on. That's certainly what our team should be focused on, and what we'd like to, the new news, frankly, to be covering. There are all these big things happening. That's what they should be covering as well. It's a complete disservice to the American people that they've spent so much time on a comment made in a private meeting versus the comments that are made on a public stage that are literally changing the course of human history that this president is engaged in. That is what the media should be focused on, and I hope they'll spend a little bit more time over the next weeks leading up to the summit to do exactly that.
Do you think we can expect an apology from that aide, Kelly Sadler? Just Meghan McCain's a friend of mine, and I know that the way they left it, they spoke on the phone, and Meghan McCain said that she would appreciate a public apology. A lot of people are waiting for that to happen. Should we now just expect that not to happen?
I'm not going to get into the back and forth on this. I think it's been addressed. We're dealing with this matter internally. Again, I think that we should be focused.
But why the strategy just should not come out publicly and say, you know what, I shouldn't have made the joke. It was wrong. Let's all move on. Why not just do that?
She's personally apologized. Again, I don't think we should continue to validate leaks that come out by making that the focus of what we're doing. I think there are some incredible things that this president is doing that literally have massive global impacts, and I think that's what we should be talking about.
If I were you, I would have trouble even expressing my thoughts, knowing that somebody on my own team could be leaking that to the press. But it doesn't overlook and overshadow all the other people that are loyal to the president, that work with him every day, and I imagine you're one of them. Now, I got to ask you, with the Wall Street Journal today had this front page story about NAFTA. In the backdrop, the president's always said, I want to update this deal that's over 20 years old. Word is now it's not going to get done this year, and we know that the Speaker of the House said, if you want this passed, I need it by next week. What happened?
Look, we're still in ongoing negotiations. The president is committed, though, to making sure that we do something better. He doesn't want to just continue on the status quo. That's the easy thing to do.
Is Mexico the problem, Sarah, or is Canada the problem, or both?
Look, we've got to get a deal that works for everybody, but most importantly, this president is going to make sure that we get a deal that works for America. He's tired of getting taken advantage of by country after country when it comes to trade, and he's going to make sure that we get a good deal that helps people in this country and that we're on a level playing field. And he's not going to stop until he gets it. And I think you know that this president is the toughest negotiator at the table, and he's going to make sure we get something that works.
Well, we got to use the old deal until we get the new deal. So that's not working, right?
Again, and the president is willing to tear up the NAFTA agreement if that's what it comes to. We still want to see something happen, and we're going to continue in those conversations. They're ongoing now, and we're pushing forward and hopeful that we can get something done soon.
Well, you're going to get something done today. I know the president is going to host a number of officials from anti-sanctuary cities and counties and things like that. This morning we had on the mayor of Los Alamitos, which really got things started down in Southern California. And he said the message when these towns and these counties stand up against Sacramento, which instituted essentially the sanctuary state of California, is forget about that. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about us actually enforcing the laws of the United States of America. We're a law and order town.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. We have to enforce the laws that are on the books. People don't get to decide. Cities don't get to pick and choose which laws they want to follow. Just because it's California doesn't mean you get to decide that you don't want to participate in our government and in our system. And you have to follow the law that is on the books. And we're very thankful that there are a number of mayors and county commissioners, et cetera, that are standing up to some of the others and saying enough is enough. Like, this is not what our state needs. It's not what our state wants, and we're glad that they're going to be here and be part of that discussion later this afternoon.
I'm sure you know, because the president had a big meeting yesterday about immigration and trying to get DACA back in the books. There are 3 Republican lawmakers pushing forward, trying to get Democrat and Republican support to try to look at a DACA deal again. What could you tell us about the president's stance on this?
The president's been very clear on what he wants to see when it comes to an immigration package. He wants to close the loopholes. He wants to secure the border, and he is willing to do something on DACA, but we have to fix the problem. We can't just kick the can down the road. We have to secure the border.
But what do you think about the 3 Republican lawmakers that are coming up with their plan? How do you feel about what they're doing? Does the president support these 3 Republicans or not?
Look, we'll see what that comes out to look like, but at the same time, the president has not wavered, and he's been extremely clear on what the priorities and what the principles are that he wants to see when it comes to any piece of immigration legislation.
All right, Sarah, how's Melania doing quickly? First Lady.
I'm sorry?
How is Melania doing?
She's doing very well. She's in very good spirits. The president was able to go back to Walter Reed yesterday and visit with her, and we ask that everybody continues to keep her in your prayers. But she's one of the toughest people you'll find, and she's doing great and good spirits.
And the plan
Thank
is
you for asking.
And the plan is for her to be released in the next couple of days?
Yeah, that's still, she's on track for the next couple of days, and certainly we'll keep everyone posted
Great. Well,
on
our
that
thoughts
front.
and prayers are with her. Sarah, always good to have you with us. Good to see you this morning.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me on.
Someone else has got to bring Barron to soccer practice. I hope you guys are pitching in.
I'm happy to. There are very few things I could probably help pitch in on. That I think I could handle.
I bet you've got a minivan, don't you?
I think you could, Sarah.
I don't have a minivan, but I got plenty of room in a mom-sized vehicle, and
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to do a soccer
Mom-sized.
practice run.
You are a utility player, Sarah. We love it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right.
Up next, is college not for you? Do not worry. Our next guest, being compared to Mike Rowe, says the best way to learn is